Hi guys, it's Amber. I'm gonna make this other video on how I got into trucking. Sorry, it's a truck backing up. I'm trying to make sure they are good and not gonna hit me. I do not feel like dealing with that. But my how I got into trucking, if you can't read by the description. So I was living in Florida at the time, Tampa, Florida, and I was going to go to a school, like Tampa Truck Driving School or something, and they had three options. They had like Stevens, Covent, and something else. I was going to go with Stevens. So with the trucking, you have to be out of work and out of, you won't be making any money during trucking, but you will, they'll pay for like you somewhere to stay if you need it, like a hotel. They pay for everything, but that wasn't good for me because I had bills, car note, a whole dog to take care of. So it's like I can't just go live in a hotel that you guys provide for me for 3 weeks and then go out with a trainer for like 4 to 6 weeks. That was not good for me living on my own. So what I did is I ended up moving to Texas. I moved home to my mom's, and so number one, my dog can have somewhere to stay, and I don't have to worry about that. I could do all this and not have to deal with everything else. And I had like basically had help, and I could afford not to be at work for 3 weeks and not making any money for like up to 2 months almost, well, I'll say a month, 5 weeks. I say 5 weeks, but I could afford it by doing that. So I picked up and left everything. I mean, when I say everything, I mean boyfriend I had to leave him because I had to go get myself right, and he was not trying to move forward. So I left that situation alone. I had to go better myself, and I mean, now I'm here. I'm in a truck, so I did something right. Ain't nobody trying to pay you, so I did something right. So anyways, I moved to Texas. I ended up going through Stevens anyways, and I went to their actual school. Now the thing about Stevens, they focus more on shifting than they do backing. And for the people who do know about trucking or anything about kind of trucks period, the backing is probably the hardest thing. The shifting, you can get a hang of that pretty quick. I mean, again, everybody's different. Some people probably need more help shifting than they do backing, but driving a 53-foot trailer, backing up is not the easiest thing to do. Why she wants my hand. It's not easy. It's not easy to do. So when I went to Stevens, I got the shifting down pat within, like, I guess I would say the third week, because the second week, because the first week was more like paperwork and getting your permit and stuff. That's one thing I did like about Stevens. You go through Stevens, they help you get your permit. Swift, you have to already have it. I'm jumping ahead of myself. So anyways, you start the first week, you get your permit, you got like that week to get your permit. They sometimes will hold you back a week. They give you about 2 weeks before they cut you loose. So I got my permit the first week. Second week I got on the yard, barely did any backing, mostly just went out and drove like on like back streets and stuff, which was all cool and great because I was like, I got this because I drive a stick shift my car. So it's not the same, but it wasn't as nerve-wracking as people who has never driven a stick before and had no idea like how to use their left foot. So since I had that muscle memory and I knew kind of how to work my left foot, and that did play a big part of it for me. So I went there. So the third week they expect for you to test out and get your CDL. So they start taking you out on the road probably like the third week. They really start taking you out on the road and stuff, which is fine, but that's all forward. You have to get through the pre-trip first. Some states you have to do pre-trip, but some of them you have to get through the pre-trip first. Like, you have to know the pieces of the truck, like under the hood, all this stuff that it's not hard, but it's overwhelming when you're first starting to drive this truck, because it's like you're trying to learn how to drive this truck, backing, forward, shifting. You're trying to learn every little piece, every little freaking little nut and screw on this thing, and it's just like, yo, I don't know, that was not for me. So, but I mean, you learn it, you study it, and you cram it, and you stress and you stress and you stress, and they expect you to drive a truck after 3 weeks. Nah, it didn't work like that for me. And then people who it did work out for, who was in my class, it worked out. They got their CDL, but maybe down a month down the line later, then they lost their license. So do I feel like it's a smart way to do it? Heck no. So anyways, I do that, and the third week comes and I'm doing this, and they make me go test out. They start setting people up for these test out, so I'm nervous. I'm like, yo, I can't, I'm gonna have to drive for somebody. I've only been doing it for 2 weeks. I'm nervous. So I'm driving. I couldn't even make it through the first thing. That was, well, you have to do air brake test too. Air brake test. It's not hard. It's not hard. I go over that if anybody needs it. I will go over that the way I my little song like riddle that I did for it, and it sticks in my head still. Alright, sorry guys, my boyfriend called, so it ended my video. So anyways, what I was saying was I was talking about the air brake test, blah blah blah. Okay, so anyways, after the air brake test, you end up going to do this parallel backing type thing, which, might I add, I've never used it. I've been out here for 2 years now. Well, almost 2 years. I've never used parallel backing before in my life. Waste of time of learning. They need to start teaching you how to park between two trailers. You know, way better than how they be focusing on other stuff. Anyways, went to that, flunked it. So after I flunked it, you get 3 chances before you have to redo like the permanent and all that stuff. No, you have to redo, yeah, like the permanent stuff. You gotta start from square one. So I flunked that, got 2 more chances. I told them when I got back to the school, I'm like, hey, I failed. It was like, yeah, we know, blah blah. I'm like, well, I need to focus more on the backing part. They said, okay, cool. I went back to class, we still doing the same stuff. Then they was like, you have to test out today, and I'm like, I haven't even practiced anything else, and they still set me up with it, drove me up there, and still made me do it. Flunked it again. And then you can kind of see where this is going. Same thing, flunked it again. So they ended up calling me, telling me I had to leave the school. You know, they couldn't do nothing else for me, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, yo, okay. I said, I better not owe nothing. They cleared everything, whatever, whatever. So after that, I was just like, man, I guess trucking ain't for me. I really started feeling like I couldn't do it. I was going to go to Roadmasters, and it was this whole thing with credit. It was just, it's this whole weird, I didn't want to go through that. So I ended up finding Swift. I tried to stay away from Swift because of all the stuff that I heard about Swift, so I didn't want to go to Swift. But anyways, I bit the bullet. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it because I want to be a truck driver. So I'm gonna do Swift, whatever. So I went and I applied for Swift. Everything went smoothly. Started the school. When I tell y'all they school is A1, I don't care what they say about Swift. They always say Swift is the bad, whatever, whatever. I love Swift personally because of their pet policy. Other than that, Swift was good to me. Like the schooling, way better than the other schooling. Way better. They focus on backing, real backing. Like they worry about shifting the 3rd week because they knew it's kind of easy to catch on to. They teach you enough of the shifting to get the CDL, and then you go out with your mentor after that, so you kind of get everything else. And they throw you out there and it's time for you to drive by yourself. You go out with your mentor and then you get more of the stuff, but they teach you enough to pass the test. They did that backing 2 whole weeks. They got little they had little things that you did back to that. Like they had one section was parallel backing, still stupid. They had a 90, they had a straight line backing, an offsetting backing. They had like these little, what do you call it, I don't know, you just can go around the yard and pick a truck, and then each truck was set up for a different thing. Anyways, did their stuff. It was hard at first. You have to pass a certain amount before you can even move on to the next week. Then we move on to the next week, you have to pass that before they even let you test out. So they really make sure that you're good to pass. So needless to say, I did their school, passed it, boom. Went out with my mentor, everything was perfect. My mentor, creepy. Like he was cool at first, and you know, he was looking out for me, whatever, but he drove on my time sometimes. Like, no, you don't do that. Like, I have to drive. He didn't let me back up a lot. And he helped too much. That's the problem with him. He helped way too much. And I'm trying to say that without saying that, you know, that you don't. That he's supposed to help you. But when I'm backing, you have to let me try. You know, spot me. Give me pointers, fine, but don't be right there like, okay, turn out, because you telling me all this is not gonna help me. Like, I have to make a mistake and fix it, not like hit something, but let me do it. You know, don't try to get behind the wheel and be like, look, watch this. I have to actually physically do it. I have to know what I'm looking at in my mirrors. I have to know what I'm looking for, because if you're showing me everything, I don't know what I'm looking for. I'm just listening to you at that point. So without my mentor, everything was cool, whatever. He then, anyways, toward the end, he started looking at me like I was a child. I want to say a child, but then he tried to have sex with me and try to make me sleep on his bed, and this just was too much for me. So anyways, I toughed it out. I was gonna leave, but I toughed it out because I didn't feel like switching mentors. He wasn't aggressive, like, you know, to the point that I was scared. I knew, like, I could snap when I need to, like, yo, you know, it ain't even that type of party, you know. So I got through with that. Everything worked out. Came back, tested out, boom. So I did all that. Oh, my back is hurting. But yeah, went through all that, passed it, and was with Swift for about a year and like 2 months maybe. And I had my dog at first. Freaking fly flew in here. This is gonna be torturous because it's gonna take forever to get it out of here. Okay, I'm sidetracked. So where was I at? It's gonna be a long video. I'm not editing or anything like that because I don't feel like going through all that. I just want to upload it for people who need to see any videos on it. But so I was with them for about a year and some change, and then I ended up getting on their Target account. Really good account. Pay was shitty, but the account itself was nice for a nice local run to be home every day. I was on that for probably about 4 months. I only did that local for the cold because I do not like driving in snow and ice and all that. I wanted to stay down south, and they didn't have anything that could keep me down south. I did not like my fleet manager that much at all, really. He was not helpful at all, but I stuck it out because I talked to my dad about it. My dad's a truck driver. He's just like, yo, it's gonna happen. You there to do your job. You get your load, you take your load, you get back, you continue doing that, and you just get your money. So I stuck it out. I'm not much of a complainer. I kind of deal with what's given to me, and I make my money. You know, I hate going to New Jersey and New York. I go to New Jersey and New York all the time. I do what I have to do. But so that's how that went. It was cool. Went to the Target account. Pay was shitty. The being local and stuff was great. And then I had another dog, 2 dogs at the time. They made me get rid of one because they had like these cameras in the front. Not cool, because when I started with them, they said that they allowed pets, and then I guess the pet policy had literally just changed when I came into it, and then they told me I had to get rid of my dog. So, you know, one of my main things was my dog. That was one of my main things that I needed to have with me was dog. So I ended up leaving them to go to Warner. Currently at Warner. Warner's great. I love Warner. I got my dog, pay a little pet fee, and that's pretty much how I got into trucking. So, and how I got to where I am right now. Just a little, I want to say quick video, but it's not really quick. But if you have any questions, just let me know. I'll answer and make a video, you know, answer whatever questions you guys may have that I may not have covered. I didn't really get into too much detail about everything, but if you do have any questions, just, you know, let me know, and, you know, I'll see you guys next time. Well, I guess you guys will see me because I can't really see you guys, but I guess I'll talk to you guys later. And, you know, like if you want more videos, subscribe, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.